do.
What disappointment for Mark Schwarzer. What disappointment for Mark Schwarzer. He's cup-tied in the FA Cup because he played for Bradford earlier this season and ruled out after being injured against West Ham.
That's right.
Last week.
Terrible bad luck for him and for his family watching the game, so we just have to wish the side the best of luck.
Let's go to Hillsborough for the League Cup final replay.
As well. It's a crucial spell for a team who've given their supporters such a roller coaster ride this season. As for Leicester, well, Martin O'Neill's side will certainly be pressure, and the pressure more or less is often in terms of league survival. Having confounded the critics who wrote them off at the start of the season, they've achieved a mid-table position for which they look now to be safe enough. Well, let's take a check on the two sides. And with minor injury worries cleared up, Leicester are unchanged from the first game at Wembley. It's basically 4-4-2 with Pontus Kåmark, the Swedish international, destined to shadow Juninho again. His man-marking role at Wembley was so successful in negating the Brazilian's influence. Kåmark himself has declared such a destructive job to be morally wrong. An assessment which might have cost him his place tonight. Martin O'Neill retorted, I might think it's morally wrong for him to get on the team bus. Well, Ray Clements, former England goalkeeper, is alongside me in the commentary box tonight. What about that Leicester formation, Ray?
Well, it's basically the 4-4-2 that we saw late on in the game, in the first game. Emil Heskey, I'm sure, will push up and join Steve Claridge because Leicester need to be more positive in this game. But I still believe that Pontus Kåmark will do a marking job on Juninho, although I think he might have more problems than he had in the first game.
Well, let's take a look at the Middlesbrough side, revealed by manager Brian Robson. There's been a major doubt over goalkeeper Mark Schwarzer, and his failure to recover from a shin injury means that Ben Roberts continues. He'd replaced Schwarzer against Chesterfield at the weekend as the Australian was cup-tied. Neil Cox returns after suspension, referred to Curtis Fleming. Nigel Pearson, that's great news for Borough. He's back to captain the side after a calf injury. He comes in for Steve Vickers. But a real surprise, I think, Clayton Blackmore in for Mikael Beck. So Juninho, Ray, will push on up front.
Well, as the caption shows, it's got Juninho up the front there with Ravanelli. But I think what you'll find as the game progresses, that Craig Hignett will break out of that four and join Juninho up towards the attack. And possibly Ravanelli might play up on his own with Juninho and Craig Hignett playing off him. Now, that's where I think that Pontus Kåmark will have a problem, because if they play with two men off the front, Kåmark will be left with two people to mark, and that will cause him and Leicester City a problem.
Two Brazilians, two Italians. It's a lineup of undoubted flair and ingenuity, but how much will the current demands of the likes of Juninho, Ravanelli and Emerson take their toll? Down to 10 men and trailing 2-0, Middlesbrough showed admirable character in clawing their way back against Chesterfield on Sunday in what was an epic FA Cup semi-final. But then they allowed it all to slip away right at the end with Chesterfield's third goal in that astonishing 3-3 draw. It's a cracking atmosphere at Hillsborough tonight, more perhaps of the club atmosphere that Leicester feel will suit them. Their committed, competitive, hard-running style. And O'Neill's team reckon now that with Middlesbrough having twice at glory snatched from their grasp in two such energy-sapping, high-profile matches, well, the psychological edge is now perhaps with them, with Leicester. But to rule out a team with the genius of Juninho, the finishing power of Ravanelli in particular, would be foolish to say the least. 38 goals Middlesbrough have scored now in 13 ties in the two cup competitions this season. 23 already in the Coca-Cola Cup, en route to this evening's replay. But when you've waited as long as Middlesbrough have for that elusive first major honour, well, the appetite, the desire of the current team will surely be as fierce as ever. Ben Roberts, two big games for him then in 4 days. What do you think is going through his mind, Ray, at the moment?
Well, I think he'll be pleased to play in the game. I know that he's been involved in the England under-21 side. He's a confident goalkeeper. He did very, very well before Mark Schwarzer came. But Brian Robson felt that he needed a more experienced goalkeeper. But Ben is certainly one for the future and has got a good temperament. And I'm sure he'll just be looking to do something right in the opening 2 or 3 minutes. And that'll just give him that confidence, dispel the nerves, and he can get on in doing the job that he is very good at.
As for the first game at Wembley, Martin Bottenham from Loo in Cornwall is the man in charge. His two assistant referees, Andy Breckle and Mark Warren. As Middlesbrough get us underway, kicking from left to right. Ravanelli with his first touch, which wasn't too convincing. This is Simon Grayson, who has had an outstanding season with Leicester, his best indeed since he came to the club from Leeds. And there was a suggestion before the first game that he might have that man-marking role on Juninho. And indeed, speculation was rife again after Cormack's comment to the press that he didn't think it was a very positive job he'd been given. Martin O'Neill didn't take too kindly to that. It did seem at one stage he might prefer Grayson rather than Cormack receiving that man-marking role on Juninho. Go to Middlesbrough. Mike Whitlow with the challenge. Craig Hignett, another key man in the Middlesbrough side. Scored at the weekend from the penalty spot in that draw with Chesterfield. Tipped in by Pearson. And off the head of Neil Lennon, the Northern Ireland international. For another throw then to Borough. Ravanelli. 9 League Cup goals so far this season, including the one at Wembley. That was Gary Parker. He had a super game in the first meeting. And he was leading in the man of the match stakes. It's now to be decided over the 2 games. This is the first League Cup final replay since the mid-80s when Liverpool and Everton met. And of course they're meeting tonight in the league. We'll be keeping a close eye on that one for you. So you'll be interested, Ray, as a former Liverpool man.
I certainly will, and you know, we're just looking at Ben Roberts there. I mean, the first thing he's had to do is come out and dealt with a ball over the top very confidently, shouted to the defender, he got out of the way and made a confident strike of the ball. So he'll be pleased to have done that even this early in the game.
He's only had a handful of first-team appearances. That's the young goalkeeper Ben Roberts. Juninho, of course, has been such a force for Middlesbrough this season, particularly over the past few months, when he has really come into his own. And a marvellous game on Sunday. Good work by Spencer Pryor. One of the 2 centre-halves for Leicester. Here's Steve Claridge. Heskey making a run into the box ahead of him. Still Claridge. Away from Pearson. Now Emerson. Alert defending. They kept their concentration, Middlesbrough. And now they're springing the counter-attack. Ravanelli. Hignett's in the middle, so is Juninho. Just lost his balance slightly then, Ravanelli, as he went marauding forward.
Well, you can see here that Steve Walsh is the man who's playing Ravanelli on there. Certainly Spencer Pryor thought there was an element of offside, but Steve Walsh was a good yard behind the other 3 defenders and therefore played Ravanelli on there.
Ravanelli waits in the middle. Pearson is forward too. Knows all about this ground, of course, as a former Sheffield Wednesday player. And over the head of Heskey. That's Juninho to fire it through. Flags up. Offside. 1 or 2 early tremors there for this Leicester City defence.
There's a little bit of panic. The ball's not cleared properly, but you'll see when the shot comes in, Emerson in the centre of the goal is offside. And as soon as that ball drops to Neil Cox, the linesman then puts his flag up because Emerson is obviously interfering with play.
Pryor. Parker taking over. The playmaker in the midfield for Leicester. Ravanelli, a neat touch then to Emerson. Trying to force his way through the middle. Whitlow holding him off. Sturdy work then by Mike Whitlow. Cormack. Put under pressure by Juninho. It's the other way around this time. Shadowed him everywhere in the first game, Cormack. And did such an effective job. Certainly limited the contribution of the tiny Brazilian. 1 or 2 great touches, and he played a part in Ravanelli's goal, of course, Juninho. But generally, he was pretty much subdued by the attentions at Pontus Cormack. Claridge. Cox it quickly. 1 against 3 defenders. And no way through there. For Muzzy, is it? Well, for Leonard. It was, is it? I got the first try. Well, as we expected, it started at a frenetic pace. Whitlow. Heskey beaten in the air by Cox. Returning then tonight after a ban, which kept him out at the weekend.
And as we expected as well, Hignett certainly is playing more forward. They've gone 3 for 3 in the middle of the field, and Hignett is playing with Juninho off Ravanelli.
Here's Hignett now. Juninho, prior to clear. Leicester at full stretch then to contain Middlesbrough. Juninho at the heart of it all. Towards Heskey. As we thought, he's playing further forward in this game than he did in the first meeting. Whitlow. Ravanelli closing him down, and he left his leg in then, much to the anger of Whitlow. Blackmore, they're going back to retain possession. Musto's pass. Then Pearson hoisting it forward.
It's amazing, there's more pace and passion about these opening minutes than there ever was in the first 45 minutes at Wembley. The players are conscious that there has to be a result tonight. And certainly in Middlesbrough's situation, I would think they'll want to go as hard as they can early on in the game to try and get themselves in a winning position.
Whitlow battling his way forward. Yes, it has to be settled tonight. Extra time and penalties if needed. Grayson. Heskey and Claridge in the middle. Lennon as well. Ricochet from the corner of Kinder. Parker trotting over to take the kick. Leicester will send Walsh and Pryor forward. A real aerial threat here for Middlesbrough to contend with. Walsh at the back of the box. Pryor on the edge of the 6-yard area. Heskey behind him. Heskey, the man whose goal meant they had to do battle again tonight. Whitlow, short to Parker. A well-worked corner kick. And a confident claim by Roberts. That will do his confidence no harm at all. Now releasing Emerson. No let up in the pace. Ravanelli. Juninho has drifted out to this near side. Cormac inevitably with him. Whitlow. Still over on that right side for a moment. Parker. Just too long for Muzzy, is it? Outmanoeuvred by Cox. He was a League Cup winner with Aston Villa back in '94. Clayton Blackmore. Surprise choice for Middlesbrough tonight. Getting his chance at the expense of Mikkel Beck, the Danish international. Ravanelli. Juninho. Ravanelli. This is promising for Middlesbrough. Just touched wide by Casey Keller.
Well, that was a tremendous save by Casey Keller. It was a wonderful move between Juninho, Ravanelli and finally Craig Hignett. Ravanelli picks out Hignett there. He looks up. There's the space. Tremendous power. And what a fabulous save by Casey Keller. There was so much pace in that. Got across, both hands to it, pushed it to safety.
Hignett taking the corner kick. Emerson on the near post. Didn't get the flick on. Hooked away then by Lennon. Here's Kinder. He's Slovakian international. Fester. Now Cox. Clayton Blackmore. Ravanelli. Emerson. Confident movement from Middlesbrough. Juninho very neat to slip past Pryor. Good spell this for Middlesbrough. Juninho down injured.
Well, I think he clashed there with Pryor and Cormac there, but it was a wonderful move, and there's the clash. I mean, there's no foul, it's just an accidental clash of knees, and it was a wonderful tackle by Pryor, because certainly Juninho got away from Cormac there.
A crucial intervention by Spencer Pryor. It was he who sent Juninho flying. Cormac, as ever, was in attendance, but it was certainly Pryor who caught it. So Juninho needing some attention here with 10 minutes gone. And you would feel Middlesbrough with the upper hand at this stage.
Well, certainly, yes. Although Leicester started positively with two players up there in Heskey and Claridge, certainly the last 2 or 3 minutes, Middlesbrough have had such quality possession of the ball that it's forced the two front men back to help Leicester defend. Thankfully, Juninho looks like he's going to be all right, but that will be painful, that knee, because it was a clash of knees. I say no maliciousness about it. It was just an accidental clash, but they are painful. But having said that, you wouldn't expect him to come off with it.
And Middlesbrough fans still arriving late here. The kick-off was delayed by 15 minutes. So many of them were stranded on the motorways. Absolutely chock-a-block. Around 20,000 still nowhere near the ground by the scheduled kick-off time. Parker for Leicester. Sweeping it out to this near side. Just kept in by Whitlow, then Walsh. Leicester's competitive captain. Ravanelli showing his battling qualities. Here's Musto, the artisan among the artists in midfield. Juninho, certainly okay. Quarterback trying to stay with him. He does so. Grayson to Heskey. This is Lennon. Oh, box-to-box play covers so much ground for this very committed Leicester team. It's been the hallmark of their success really this season, their endeavour. No cause is lost for them, as they've shown time after time during this campaign. Whitlow himself has had to fight his way back from injury. And several months out before the first meeting of the two teams. Emerson, lovely change of direction there. Oh, surely tripped by Whitlow. Well, the referee turned away. It's a clumsy challenge. He didn't think an unfair one, though. Parker. No movement ahead of him. That was the tackle on Emerson from Whitlow. Pryor. Close marking by Fester. Grayson making headway down that right side. Heskey's in the middle, so is Claridge. Lennon with that brave header. And it was Cox who cleared. And now the flag is up for offside. Heskey has a real physical presence. Hard to believe he's only 19, and he almost benefited there from the ball in from Simon Grayson.
Well, I think the way that Leicester are set up and the way Middlesbrough have set themselves up, that Grayson and Whitlow will be the two players, particularly Grayson, who will get some space for Leicester, and it's how he utilises that space, and can he get good balls in from that right side for Claridge and Heskey's power.
This is Grayson now. Blackmore. Now Cox and Ravanelli. Ravanelli crashing with Whitlow. And the ball is too long for Emil Heskey. He certainly is right up front tonight alongside Claridge. A more positive approach by Leicester. Hignett making the run. Good defending though by Spencer Pryor. And the two clash then as Pryor cleared. Pryor still hobbling at the moment. Steve Walsh pumping it forward rather hopefully. Emerson. Beautiful play away from Lennon. Such a gifted footballer, Emerson. Cox. Laid off by Musto to Cox again. Good tackle by Is it. Likewise Blackmore for Middlesbrough. Here's Cormack. Grayson. Heskey in the centre. Leicester fans appealing, but it's Pearson who is injured. He's come off worse there against Emil Heskey.
Well, the fans were complaining there because they felt that Cox had actually nudged Emil Heskey into Pearson as he was about to head the ball, and certainly there looked to be a little bit of contact there. And to be fair, Ben Roberts tried to throw the ball out. Juninho tried to retain the ball, which he wasn't able to do. But certainly that was a dangerous ball in, again from Grayson down that right-hand side. And Pearson's only winded because, you know, Heskey's a big boy, and if he runs into you, you know about it.
Well, Pearson has had his share of injuries down the years. He, of course, was with Sheffield Wednesday when they won the League Cup against Manchester United back in '91. Chip on Whitlow by Hignett. No doubt about that one. Here's Gary Parker now. Walsh stretching, off goes Heskey. Blackmore there with him, he just shrugged him aside. It's a foul by Blackmore. Well, no, the referee saw nothing wrong again, just a throw to Middlesbrough.
Well, there didn't look to be an awful lot in it, and the linesman was very, very close there, wasn't he?
But Blackmore, many people felt, was lucky to stay on the field on Sunday. He was booked early in the match, or after he'd come on, and then there was another bad tackle from him, which I think certainly warranted a caution, but David Ellery took the lenient approach and let him stay on. Claridge put it to change by Leicester. Lennon. Way by Pearson, who seems to be okay. That was Kinder with the header. Kinder, who was sent off at the weekend. Well, Martin O'Neill seeing his team now claw their way back after a bit of a sticky spell when Middlesbrough was certainly threatening. Really has done a marvellous job at Leicester. Just 5 months after arriving, he gained promotion, and then this season, when so many people predicted they'd come straight back down, well, far from that. They've got into mid-table and they've progressed well in both cups, not only this one, the FA Cup as well. Juninho has just been off the field, but he's back on now, so only a minor ailment for him. But he'll be anticipating a bucketing from Cormac.
I think he was just having a word with the physio there about that knock he got on his knee earlier on. Maybe it's starting to stiffen up a little bit.
Not the best of clearances by Roberts. Straight to Whitlow. Immediately confronted by Emerson. Here's Juninho. The two Brazilians in tandem. Emerson again. This is Kinder, who hasn't started too many games since he arrived at the club a short while back from Slovan Bratislava.
And you would think that he, in particular, more than anybody, would want to do well this evening, having had the very poor game that he had against Chesterfield, and of course got himself sent off early on, really, and his first booking was a very, very silly one, just kicking the ball away.
Well, Brian Robson felt it was harsh, but it was a foolish act, and he did indeed get himself dismissed for second bookable offence, and that was before half-time. Good work by Izic. Now can they make something of this? And the cross was too close to Ben Roberts.
Good goalkeeping by Ben Roberts. I mean, again, down that right-hand side, that's where they're getting the space. This is a lovely ball, times it perfectly. And it's a good ball in, a little bit too close to Ben, but he's got to pick that ball up. It bounces just in front of him.
In time, Walsh showing his defensive qualities at the other end. So really sturdy back player, Steve Walsh. He's had to come back from so many injuries, umpteen knee operations. He's a real leader in the Leicester team. Ravanelli. Now Emerson. Cormac ran his intentions too easily then. Blackmore to Kinder. Emerson. Here's Juninho. 20 minutes gone. Hallmark never far away from Juninho. No score in the Coca-Cola League Cup final replay here at Hillsborough. Heskey. Good block in by Neil Cox. Lennon throw to Parker. Lennon again. Seems to be popping up all over the field. Whitlow. Support from Heskey. Trying to batter his way through. But Middlesbrough were equally resilient. Emerson. Pryor, the last defender here against Hignett. Ravanelli. Failing to link up with Juninho. So away come Leicester. Muzzy is it. Claridge making that forward run. Strong policing though by Festa. The Italian who plays like a traditional English centre-half. That's good persistence shown by Claridge.
Well, nobody enjoys playing against Steve Claridge, do they? Because he never gives you a minute's peace. He works so hard for the team and for himself and puts defenders under pressure. And there's Festa, who's played international football, put him under pressure, and all of a sudden Leicester have a corner kick.
Spencer Pryor again on the near post with Claridge lurking just behind him. Walsh attacking from further back. Pearson stretching, conceding the corner. They were so relieved to have him back tonight, Nigel Pearson. He really is an outstanding defender. And he'll relish this kind of confrontation in this atmosphere tonight. With Hillsborough at all places, his old club. Parker with the corner. Too long for Heskey. Hallmark floating it back through. And there's an offside. Not too many chances, Ray, but it's certainly more open than the first game.
Well, certainly far more entertaining in the first 45 minutes was at Wembley, and you can... Neither team really wants to go to extra time, particularly Middlesbrough, and therefore the game is more open, there's more space in the middle of the field, and I'm sure as the game progresses there will be more and more chances coming for both sides.
Mike Whitlow bringing down Hignett. The signal for Leicester to pull everybody back to defend the free kick. Bit of a way out, but with the likes of Ravanelli and Emerson and Blackmore and of course Juninho, you never know what Middlesbrough might have up their sleeves. We've certainly seen Ravanelli strike goals from here during his time in Italy's Serie A. Emerson hovering as well. It's going to be the left foot of Ravanelli. And high into the back of Middlesbrough fans behind that goal.
Well, a little bit disappointed with that, won't he? I mean, there was only one thing that was going to happen there. When Ravanelli's not in the penalty area and he's 30 yards out around a free kick, he's the one that's going to strike it. But his left foot let him down somewhat there. Not only was it slightly wide, it was very, very high.
28 goals from Ravanelli in his first season in the English top flight since his £7 million move from Juventus. That's good covering then by Pryor as Juninho set off. Started really well, Spencer Pryor. He made some very important interventions. Claridge knocked up for Heskey. Now Parker. Gary Parker striding through. Good save by Roberts. Whitlow following up. Agonisingly close from Mike Whitlow. And a real escape then for Middlesbrough.
There's a super build that wasn't it, and Parker goes past the ball opens up from there. And young Ben Roberts only knocks it back into play, and Whitlow, I mean, Emil Heskey is only inches away from getting a touch as well, but Ben Roberts will be disappointed pushing that there. Whitlow on his favourite left foot, and look how close Emil Heskey was. I mean, it literally needs just to throw himself at it, and it's in the back of the net.
He thought it was.
But then he always does.
The passion that man shows. Absolutely amazing. He lives every minute out there with them. And he was a very passionate player himself. Whitlow going very close then for Leicester. Martin O'Neill, of course, a League Cup winner in his Nottingham Forest days. So is Gary Parker. A rare moment of anxiety shown there by Casey Keller, who really has had a super season, his first with Leicester. Martin O'Neill has been saying he isn't too happy about the number of games he misses because of the Americans World Cup campaign. Well, there are going to be a few more. He's off with the US squad indeed after this match to join up with them for the Mexico game coming up at the weekend. Free kick to Middlesbrough. Neil Lennon incurring the wrath of referee Martin Bondham. Middlesbrough pressing quickly. Well, there's a deflection there. Pinder's shot. Haven't seen too much of him in the past, Ray, but he's certainly positive, Pinder.
Yeah, he likes to come forward with the ball whenever he can, but certainly in the game against Chesterfield, his defensive qualities were somewhat lacking on the short time that he was on the field.
Well, Brian Robson had the option of playing Curtis Fleming on the left with Cox returning, but he opted for Kinder instead. Here's Pearson, faced by Heskey. Fester. We can't believe the number of matches we play in the English game. He felt in Italy they didn't play enough in Serie A. Hicknett teasing Pryor. Ravanelli's in the box. Just couldn't climb sufficiently to get a knock on there. But you can't leave him alone for a second, as his goals tally this season will testify. On by Walsh to Heskey. Wayward pass this time from Steve Walsh. Neil Cox taking the throw there for Middlesbrough, who still have a relegation fight on their hands. And they've got what could be 9 games coming up in 28 days. It's a really fierce schedule they're facing now. And many, I think, will sympathise with them and say it's too fierce.
Well, certainly it is an awful lot of games to play, but I mean, the only solution is maybe to lengthen the season, but then everybody has to lengthen. I don't think you can have sort of 1 or 2 sides playing after everybody else. It just means lengthening the season for everybody.
Well, they're certainly up for the task tonight, Middlesbrough. So, Leicester City. And again, it looks like being a very tight contest. Gary Parker, careless pass, straight to Musto. Ravanelli, who wouldn't have appreciated the service he had there. Now he's given it away. Lennon, slipping past Musto. Heskey ahead of him. The sound defending there by Gianluca Festa. He's got his hands full with Heskey.
But Lennon really, it was the wrong ball there at that time. Izzet was in the middle of the field, totally unopposed, and a little square ball to him. Izzet was in a fine area with space in front of him to take it on and have a shot.
It came off Walsh. I think Ravanelli was confused there. Emerson, little dummy. Hoping that Blackmore can make the most of it, which he did. Hicknett. Now Emerson. Ball back in first. leaving Juninho just for a second. And veteran Juninho went back to his car after the game, the first meeting. Cormac was there in the passenger seat alongside it. It was Heskey. And his first touch there just let him down.
Well, it exposed Pearson's lack of pace, but...
Off goes Ravanelli. Played it towards Emerson and Juninho. Leicester haven't cleared the danger. Blackmore. The tempo really picking up now. Fabrizio Ravanelli. Whitlow snapping in with the tackle. Then Lennon, who did really well to hold off Ravanelli. And stop him in his tracks. Half an hour gone. Leicester 0, Middlesbrough 0. Pearson. Now Musto to Clayton Blackmore. He's seen Ravanelli, but couldn't find it. Clayton Blackmore, 32 now, and he's won his place back in the Welsh squad on the back of his recent form for Middlesbrough. Heskey. Now Lennon. Whitlow. Parker's found some space here. He's seen Grayson over on that far side. In goes Heskey. They've got some reward with Grayson down the right.
Well, that's where I always felt there would be some space for him. He gets a good header on there, but again, Ben Roberts, his starting position is good. He's quick off his line and deals with a potentially dangerous situation comfortably.
What a good pass, though, by Gary Parker. Always inventive. Cox. No, Hickner would have gone the other way. Here's Steve Walsh, Leicester's captain. Only Heskey right upfield. Cox with the back header to snuff out the danger. Brian Robson still believes his team can go on to win both cups and certainly believes they can avoid relegation, but it's going to be pretty tight. There's so many matches to come. Juninho. Face by Cormac. Good tackle by Izzet. Just denied him any room in which to manoeuvre there. But Middlesbrough coming forward again. Emerson this time. And that might have gone fortuitously into the path of Hignett. Lennon. Now Muzzy Izzet. Claridge. His socks characteristically around his ankles. Still Claridge. But then gifting possession to Emerson. Juninho getting the better of Cormac. Juninho setting off on one of those lazy runs. Great ball through the middle to Hignett. Juninho in support, going right through. Fabulous play by Juninho. Denied by Casey Keller.
Well, he'd been quiet for a little while, Juninho, hadn't he? But when he came into life there, I mean, it really was a tremendous run. And at the end, the ball broke back to him and he had a finish on target, which I think possibly Casey Keller made look a little bit better than what it was.
Claridge to Parker. He's seen a run of Heskey. Good vision again shown by Gary Parker. Now Lennon. Deflected. But into the welcoming arms of Ben Roberts. It was a terrific, mazy run by Juninho.
There's a super pass in the first place there as well. Hignett nearly got it through to Ravanelli, but he was onto it like a... tried the old dipping volley over the top of Keller, but I think you'll find Keller's already on his way, and that's it looks good, but that's a comfortable save for somebody like Casey Keller. A good height for a goalkeeper.
He's a good keeper, isn't he?
He certainly is, yes. He's been part of an outstanding season for Leicester City.
Marriage after Roberts had to head out of his goal. Parker slipped on now for Heskey. He's offside. He hadn't looked along the line then, Emil Heskey.
No, he'll be disappointed here, Emil, because when the ball's played through, Emil can see right along the line there. He can see he's offside and he's got to pull away from it, but obviously he wasn't quick enough thinking to do that.
Bit of an experience perhaps shown then by Emil Heskey, who's played so many games for Leicester and also for the junior England teams. He's hardly had a break for about 18 months now. I think Martin O'Neill would like to rest him, but just can't afford to do so. He's so important to them. Of course, they have had recent additions to the squad, but they're all cut-tied. Juninho can't slip away from Cormac. But he won't keep him quiet for all the match, as has been shown already.
No, when you've got a player of Juninho's quality, no matter how good a marker you are, there will be times, it might only be 4 or 5 times in a game, but he will get space and he will create something, and you know, on a couple of occasions he's already done that.
But he is a very accomplished man marker, Pontus Cormac. I remember him doing an excellent job on Romario in the '94 World Cup. Now wanting Keller to collect or to clear. Lennon. Now Whitlow. Good play by him. Heskey. Good options here. They've got 5 up in this attack. Lennon. I think he was going for goal there. And he sliced it completely. Well, that's a wasted opportunity for Leicester.
Yes, I mean, Lennon had his head in his hands there. As he puts it goes onto his left, it really needs sliding across. There's 3 players coming in for the ball that goes across the 6-yard line. But once he brings it onto his right, all the players are in front of him, and it's a poor ball in the end.
Ravanelli. Oh, excellent link-up play with Juninho. And he just showed too much of the ball then to Spencer Pryor, who kept his composure. And they have to, these Leicester defenders, against the pace of Juninho and the forceful front running of Ravanelli. But this is excellent play by Leicester now. Grayson's ball in. Heskey again is lurking in the centre.
Well, this is great defensive play by Pearson. He could have gone towards the ball, decided the danger was in the middle, and if he misses that, Heskey's in with a great scoring opportunity. But yet again, it's Grayson down that right-hand side. Good ball in, but look at that for defending. That's tremendous there by Pearson.
Brilliant defending. And man who's been such a great servant to English football down the years. Week in, week out. Musto. Dispossessed by Lennon. And he's free now, but waved on. Heskey. Great chance for Heskey! Off the post! So nearly the breakthrough there. Heskey released. Denied by the upright.
Well, this time it's a great pass through, and it's on his weaker side, but it's a great strike. No chance for Ben Roberts, and it just won't go in off that post. But Emil Heskey does everything right there, and he just doesn't have the look. It goes out rather than in off the post.
Roberts, we were struggling there, flailing arms. He's got away with it. It was such an exquisite through ball from Lennon that sent Heskey on his way. He's got 10 goals this season, including that one at Wembley, Heskey. And just as bobble as he hit it. Could only turn away in frustration, perhaps disbelief, Martin O'Neill. I remember saying after the first game, he felt Heskey could be the match winner in the replay. He didn't have one of his better games at Wembley, despite scoring that goal. But he was in that more withdrawn role. Lennon now attacking Middlesbrough again. Whitlow. Heskey climbing well. No real power though at the header. But there is plenty of power in this man.
Well, he's got such tremendous strength, and he leaps well and gets above his marker. Just can't get the power. Defender just does enough by jumping into him, and Roberts makes a comfortable save. But look at the strength and the determination in him going for that ball.
Clayton Blackmore. Juninho's diagonal run, well read then by Cormac. 5 minutes of the first half to go. Heskey on for Claridge. It's now half-time in the Merseyside derby, and Liverpool are a goal up against Everton, and it's an own goal from the Danish international Klaus Thompson. Liverpool, of course, going for the championship. Everton struggling to keep clear of relegation trouble. Now, what can Middlesbrough build here? Solid challenge by Walsh. Parker. Lennon's posted into some space. Not really closed down there. Claridge again very tightly marked. Claridge flourishing away up front. He's not getting much change out of Fester. Pearson and Fester, the two central defenders for Middlesbrough, marking very tightly, very aggressively. And it's been difficult for Claridge. And for Heskey too. Likewise, Ravanelli. Being well marked by Walsh. Foul by Lennon on Juninho, which has incensed Ravanelli. And I think it's going to be a yellow card for the Irishman Neil Lennon.
Yes, there's no doubt. No, that's an aimless kick which only makes contact with Juninho, and quite rightly goes in the book for that. It was a silly situation. There was no need for it, and Lennon quite rightly goes in the book for that.
Well, he is such an abrasive character, totally committed, like all these Leicester players. They're showing far too much aggression that time. Juninho. That's Pearson. Ravanelli on the end of it. Grayson to Parker. There's only Claridge in Middlesbrough's half. Emerson, who has had his moments, but overall perhaps a rather peripheral figure so far. Robson will be looking to his flair players. Emerson, Juninho, Ravanelli, to make something happen. Cox. Here is Ravanelli. Immediately closed down by two Leicester players, Izzet and Whitlow. They really do set about their task with dogged determination, Leicester. And they've proved a few people wrong this season. No doubt about it. Couple of minutes of the first half to go. Gary Parker for Leicester. Returned by Izzet, but he turned back into Emerson. Lennon. Now Walsh. Grayson making tracks again down that right side. Kinder with the interception. Here's Izzet, former Chelsea man. Grayson just couldn't fashion a path to goal, and away come Middlesbrough on the break. Emerson. Free kick. This time tackled by Whitlow as we move into the last minute of the first 45. Emerson. Pearson to Vladimir Kinder. Now Juninho, dragging Pontus Cormac with him, of course. Trying to take him on. Ravanelli, Juninho. Such tenacious play by Cormac, and he was certainly tricked. Well, Juninho will be used to the man marking. He would have had it week in, week out back in Brazil.
Well, liked about Cormac throughout the 2 games so far, though, yes, he has marked Juninho there, but he's not done it in a vicious way. He's marked him tightly, he's won the ball fairly. There's been physical challenges, but nothing that's been over the top.
Yes, he's gone about his job in a disciplined fashion. He was booked in the first game. A rare aberration, though. We're now into injury time at the end of the first half. That's Ravanelli. Now Emerson. To Cox. Lennon with a foot in first. Ravanelli. He's left one of the Leicester players injured on the ground. Whitlow, is it? Ravanelli. Parker back defending. Whitlow showing no signs of getting back on his feet for the moment. Here's Claridge, as ever, working so diligently. My word, his work rate is phenomenal, Steve Claridge. But then that rather typifies Leicester. Grayson. Ravanelli. Brought down by Walsh. Walsh didn't like his reaction. Well, it was certainly a foul.
You can understand why for once, can't you?
Well, he does tend to rather act theatrically when he is tackled sometimes, Ravanelli, but I don't know, that was a foul. Blackmore. Whitlow is now back on the field and back in his left back role for Leicester City. Here's Fabrizio Ravanelli trying to slip it forward. Kinder had shown for him. Ravanelli. He only had Juninho in the middle. I don't think he was going to win it in the air against the likes of Walsh and Pryor. Ravanelli just can't force his way through. Is it? The first half reaches its conclusion without a goal. Heskey hitting the post for Leicester, coming close on a couple of other occasions as well. And here was the moment when, well, he thought he'd scored. Beaten Roberts, and to the dismay of Martin O'Neill, it came back off the upright. Ray, your thoughts looking back over the first half?
Well, I would think of the 2 managers, Martin O'Neill will be the happiest. I think that Leicester have looked just slightly the more likely to score, and certainly we saw Emil Heskey's chance there. But let's not forget Casey Kelly's fabulous save from a Hignett shot early on in the game as well. But certainly the longer the game goes on, you would fancy that Leicester should become the stronger side. Martin O'Neill did rest 1 or 2 at the weekend, and of course Middlesbrough were involved in an epic game at Old Trafford. So things are tipping towards Leicester, but you can never rule out Middlesbrough when they've got so many world-class players. They just need one piece of individual brilliance and they could be in front.
Certainly at this stage, nothing really between the 2 teams. 0-0 at half-time. We'll be back for the second half. And you wonder, Ray Clements alongside me here, just when they are going to tie Middlesbrough. They've had so many matches lately, and of course that grueling game at the weekend.
Well, certainly I would think the last 20 minutes of this second half they're going to be feeling the pace. They have had a hard programme, and they've got an even harder one coming up. But certainly while they're in this game, the adrenaline's going to keep them going. But I just wonder what's actually going to happen if Leicester get themselves in front, because that's when all of a sudden everybody starts feeling tired.
Well, it was a frenetic first half, as we anticipated, in front of a full house of 40,000 at Hillsborough. Evenly divided, around 20,000. Middlesbrough just under that for Leicester. And Middlesbrough endearing themselves to their fans by giving away their allocation of tickets for tonight, as a reward to the fans who've supported them so enthusiastically during their cup runs. That was Kinder. Juninho, Cormac in ahead of him. Again, read the play so well, Cormac. He's followed Juninho every inch of this Hillsborough turf. On by Ravanelli. And up by Walsh, now Parker. A man whose vision can spring open any defence. Some delightful passes in the first half from Gary Parker. Grayson, who's made some useful surges down the right flank for Leicester. And for Spencer Pryor. And Festa settling for the throw. Festa, who came from Inter Milan, of course, to join Middlesbrough. And they've certainly had more defensive resolve since he's gone into that back line alongside Pearson or Vickers on many occasions this season.
Although Festa's done well for them, I think it's Pearson who's the man that makes a difference at the back there, because he is such a good organiser, has tremendous experience, and therefore I always think they look steadier at the back when Pearson is there than when anybody else is at the back there.
Here's Pearson on the ball now. Kittner. Now Emerson. I think Brian Robson will want more from him in the second half. Really is a thunderous atmosphere around the stadium. Blackmore on for Ravanelli. Hignett racing through. Out comes Keller. Ravanelli just overhitting his pass. Claridge lost his bearings for a moment. Emerson. Hignett. It's a throw to Middlesbrough. Hignett, who scored, of course, against Liverpool in one of the earlier rounds. A vital goal that night. Was shoved in by Ravanelli, but it's a goal kick anyway. Martin Bodman. It's not easy for referees to keep up with the pace of the game these days. Really has been played at a frantic pace. And you feel it could still go either way. Leicester still looking very strong. But Middlesbrough had so much guile, so much flair and flamboyance. You could never rule them out. Robbie Mustoe. Now Emerson. Forward by Pearson for Ravanelli. A rather tentative touch though by the Italian international. Walsh. That was Claridge to Whitlow. Both teams giving the ball away, but now it's Steve Claridge. Whitlow. The ball kindly here for Parker, who has Grayson in support. Claridge and Heskey in the centre. And is it? Good turn by him. Couldn't keep his shot down.
He is a lively character though, is it? He's so quick on his feet. I mean, it's a difficult ball to control, but look, in one motion, turns quickly and just can't keep his shot down. But you always wonder when he's on the ball, because he's so quick-footed, that he just might unsettle the Middlesbrough defence.
Didn't make the breakthrough with Chelsea. He didn't play in their first team at all, but it's certainly been a success with Leicester. An excellent signing by Martin O'Neill. And here's another one, Spencer Pryor, who's been very strong at the back again this evening. Ravanelli. Cox first to react. Some space down that right side. Emerson. Dodging the challenge of Steve Claridge. Now it's Kittner. Hignett. Bundled over. And illegal lead by Simon Grayson. Kick taken quickly. Ravanelli offside. Well, he finished it sweetly enough. But he was yards off.
It was quick thinking there by Craig Hignett, though, wasn't it? He saw the space in there, and Ravanelli just moved just fractionally before the ball was played. But I'll tell you what, it was a very, very close call.
Closer than I thought there. Very quick thinking. Pryor didn't really need to do that. Here's Hignett. Maybe we'll punish it for it. Ravanelli setting off into the middle. But again, such determined defending, this time by Gary Parker. Man of the match at Wembley, and he might well be another contender this evening. Well, he's had a few ups and downs during his time at Leicester, Gary Parker. Fell out with Martin O'Neill for a while, lost the captaincy, went on the transfer list. But there's no faulting his commitment to the cause again tonight. Emerson. Cox. Whitlow trying to close down the space. Here's Ravanelli, dragging Walsh out of the centre. And the old warhorse gets the better of it. Juninho, Ravanelli. Being forced backwards. Here's Emerson. Now Cox. It was very tight for Juninho, and he was just caught then by Whitlow.
Well, it was a rash challenge, wasn't it? I'm not sure whether he actually caught Juninho or not. But it's a good job Juninho jumped, otherwise certainly Whitlow would have caught him.
He certainly intended to catch him. Juninho not amused. How many more times, he says. We've only seen glimpses of his magical footwork tonight. He's over the ball now. And Colnover far too close to Casey Keller. To the delight of those Leicester fans behind the American goalkeeper. Five clean sheets in the League Cup so far this season from Keller. Whitlow, who had the strength then to ward off the threat of Juninho. Tackling not really the Brazilian's forte. Kinder to Clayton Blackmore. Good interchange by Middlesbrough. Emerson to Kinder. Now Hignett. Ravanelli being well guarded. He had two defenders to contend with there. Well, Hignett felt the ball was there to be chased for. Just a rather untidy challenge.
Yeah, I think he was quite right to go for it, but Casey Keller, good first touch, and he was probably just a little bit late there, but no problem. Goalkeepers can stand that.
No real harm done. You were caught a few times. Now Heskey tangling with Fester. Two sturdy chaps in conflict there. He's had a few cautions since he's come to England, Fester. And I can remember a few in Italy as well. Here's Parker now with a free kick. Ravanelli back defending. Doesn't need to. Lennon. Laid off to Cormac. Now Spencer Pryor. Hurried into a mistake. Emerson on the break. Not on the same wavelength though as Neil Cox. Well, Robson may be pondering if a substitution might change things. He has, of course, Mikkel Beck in reserve. The man he left out tonight.
Well, Mikkel Beck certainly has been warming up for about 7 or 8 minutes now, very loosely down to our right-hand side. And you just wonder, I mean, hopefully Juninho will be okay, but Juninho took that couple of knocks on that knee, and you just wonder if that's just worrying him slightly.
Ravanelli from Kinder's pass. Here is Juninho. Good effort too. Nothing wrong with him there. He was certainly moving very freely. Such mobility from Middlesbrough.
So Ravanelli does well for Middlesbrough. He holds it up well, waits for runners to come, and that's a perfectly weighted pass there. And there's Juninho, good strike, but Keller had it covered anyway, I think, even if it had been on target. His hands up there and the line of the ball, and I think he would have dealt with it anyway.
13 goals from Juninho this season, just one in the League Cup. But he tormented Leicester in the recent league meeting between the two teams, when Middlesbrough won 3-1 at Filbert Street. Having said that, Middlesbrough lost at home to Leicester in the league. That's a foul on Hignett by Pryor, and I think he's going to receive the yellow card for that. It was certainly rash.
Yes, it's late again, and you know, Hignett made a little bit of a meal of it, but certainly Pryor did catch him, and rightly goes into the book as well.
Emerson wanting to take this free kick from Middlesbrough. Martin O'Neill down below us, can't sit down. He is just behind the advertising hoarding. Can't keep his seat. Totally wrapped up in the emotion of it all. The long ball from Pearson. Juninho couldn't shake off Cormac. Parker, off goes Heskey. Terrific run through by Heskey. Now Claridge. Heskey again. Support from Lennon. Good ball to Parker. Whitlow. And is it? Look at the Tigers tackling there of Ravanelli. Blackmore. Juninho maybe caught in two minds there. No hesitation from Cormac, who as ever was right on hand. He said after the first game he wouldn't swap shirts with Juninho Cormac. He said he'd probably seen enough of my shirt. Emerson.
Well, he's done exactly the same tonight as well. Again, we've seen little glimpses of Juninho, but he hasn't had a major influence on the game so far.
He might make you eat your words yet, Ray. Heskey, meantime, pressing for Leicester. The block by Fester, but a corner to Leicester City. We haven't won in 8 matches now, but they sense victory tonight. Really fired up for this occasion. Just about safe now in the Premier League. It's all about tonight for them. Middlesbrough have got some very big games to come, starting with Sunderland in the league at the weekend. And now they have some defending to do here. Parker and Whitlow with this well-rehearsed corner kick. Not that well-rehearsed at the moment. It's Whitlow to float it over. Flicked away by Ravanelli and off the head of Heskey. Roberts had trouble getting to the cross there, if he thought about it.
Well, Roberts thought about coming, decided not to, and Heskey just gets caught slightly on his heels there. There's just a little deflection there from Ravanelli, and you can see there Heskey caught flat-footed, can't readjust, and therefore can't direct the header onto the target.
Gianluca Festa. Now Cox to Musto. This is it for Leicester. Given away though to Ravanelli. Hignett. They've got 4 out in this attack now. Oh, Hignett played it the wrong way as Juninho went sprinting ahead of it. Simon Grayson. It's still a close call between these two very committed teams. In the fairness of Middlesbrough, there's no real sign yet of them tiring for all their exhausting schedule. No foul on Claridge by Fester. Grayson scrapping with Hignett, and the free kick going Leicester's way. League Cup winners way back in 1964, Leicester. That indeed was their last major trophy. Middlesbrough, remember, have never won anything. Hence the desire, the passion being shown by these two sides. It's blood and thunder stuff. With an hour gone. Walsh is up. Heskey, Claridge in there too. Blackmore only partially away. But Lennon couldn't get a clear strike at goal. Cormac. He hopes to win his place back in the Swedish national squad for the forthcoming game against Scotland in the World Cup qualifiers. He's been out for quite a while, of course, because of long-term injury. He actually feels himself, poor Mark. He's not fully fit yet. I don't think Juninho thinks so. Oh, Emerson, dreadful mistake there. Hadn't seen Lennon. Is it? On for Whitlow. Now needs a good cross here. Brought down by Emerson.
Well, I don't see how Emerson can put his arms out and said there that Whitlow was actually not caught and was diving. Certainly the legs were tangled up there, and it was a tackle from behind by Emerson, and he's a lucky man not to be in the referee's notebook.
Yes, the referee has taken no further action other than to award the free kick to Leicester. Middlesbrough have all 10 outfield players defending this kick, which Parker will take. Pryor on the near post. No, it was at catchable height for Ben Roberts.
He did well there, kept his eye on the ball. Lots of bodies running in front of him. Easy to take your eye off that ball, but kept himself very solid, eye on it, not worried about what's happening around him, and held on to it comfortably.
Certainly no real sign of nerves from Roberts tonight, and Brian Robson was saying beforehand he has an excellent temperament. He had no qualms about including him, with Strotzer out with a damaged shin. We've had 4 goalkeepers at Middlesbrough this season. Alan Miller and Gary Walsh have also kept goal. Miller, of course, has now departed for West Brom. Cox to Ravanelli. Ravanelli quiet, but still dangerous. The man whose goal, of course, won the European Cup last season for Juventus. Hoping to mark his first season now in England with a trophy. Ravanelli and Festa, the first Italians to play in a major English final. Juninho and Emerson, of course, the first Brazilians. Here's Musto. Emerson being shackled, but getting away from Claridge and from Lennon. Great little run this by Emerson. Stepped on now then for Ravanelli. Walsh in the way at the expense of a corner.
Just shows the strength there of Emerson. Outfights Claridge. Lovely little touch there past Lennon.
Ravanelli. Juninho! Never really threatened Casey Keller's goal.
It was a quickly taken corner, wasn't it? Just caught the Leicester defence just sleeping slightly, and all of a sudden some space appeared for Juninho, but totally missed time the shot.
Yes, Martin O'Neill won't be too happy at the route he had there. And they did get caught out by the corner. Grayson. Leicester in very strongly on Claridge. Here's Emil Heskey. And he's taken it too far. Claridge just having words with referee Bonham about the challenge from Festa. Did seem to go through the back of him.
I mean, Italian defenders do mark you tightly and give you no space whatsoever. And for Steve Claridge and Emil Heskey, they've learned a little bit about Italian defensive play in these 2 games. That's a certainty.
Well, what emotions the 2 managers are going through now, with their team so close to glory. Meantime, at Goodison, it's now 1-1. Everton against Liverpool in the Merseyside derby. Duncan Ferguson has drawn Everton level. Crucial goal for Everton. We still await the first one here. Neil Cox. Liverpool, of course, facing Manchester United in what may well become the title showdown at the weekend. Middlesbrough had high hopes of pushing for the championship themselves at the outset of the season with all their hefty investments. Hasn't quite turned out that way. But nonetheless, they are pushing hard now in 2 cup competitions still. The final here, the Coca-Cola League Cup, and they have the semi-final replay to come against Chesterfield. But there will be no let-up for Middlesbrough just 2 days after that game. They now have to play Tottenham in the Premier League. Decisive header away by Pearson, who's been rock solid at the back. Cross comes Pryor. Well, Martin O'Neill sums his team up so early. He says we may not be the best side in the table, but we have honest, genuine players, and they've underlined that again tonight. Claridge. But Middlesbrough fighting with them every inch of the way. And it's certainly a better game road than the first one.
It certainly is, although I would say in this last 5 minutes a little bit of the pace has gone out of it. We saw certainly in the first half, and maybe now certainly in Middlesbrough's case that they are starting to feel the strains of Sunday's game.
Well, the endeavour is there, but still not all that many genuine chances for either team. Let's give credit to the defences for that as well. Cox now getting forward for Middlesbrough, as Robson will want him to do. Whitlow's clearance. Ravanelli. Oh, Lennon's giving it straight back to him. Ravanelli's cross. Pryor away to fight Heskey. Then Gary Parker. Just going for a little spell at the moment, the match, when they're cancelling each other out again. Parker to Grayson, who has given Leicester width down this right side. It's Pryor. Put out by Fester, Blackmore to Musto. 2 such hard-working players in the midfield. But it's the flair men now that Brian Robson will want to show. Ravanelli. Well, he's been saying how tired he is, Ravanelli, after some of the recent games, and he had been carrying a hamstring injury as well. Blackmore, who's come back into the team tonight, although he did feature as a substitute at the weekend, played as a left back after Kinder had been sent off. Emerson's pass, an astute one as well. Here's Clayton Blackmore. Ravanelli had come inside for him. Juninho's going to run, and a confident claim by Keller. Grayson. Extra time, remember, and if need be, a penalty shootout. It will be finished tonight. Heskey. Played in by Parker intelligently. The Claridge. Is it? Terrific block in by Pearson. And a vital one too, as he holds off Heskey. Phenomenal defending by Pearson.
Well, we spoke about it in the first half, and again he showed that defensive quality he's got, because the slightest mistake there and Izzet would have been in with a golden opportunity to open scoring.
Hignett seeking out but not finding Ravanelli. Just for a moment there, the pass back was a bit casual from Steve Walsh. Meantime, here's Claridge. Crashing with Cox, and it's a throw to Leicester. Parker. 20 minutes to go. Claridge down to Lennon. Claridge again. Shot really was tamely hit by Muzzy Izzet. Not appreciated by Martin O'Neill. I think he's had his hair cut since the last time I saw him, Muzzy Izzet. by Pryor. Likewise, Leicester for Middlesbrough, playing their 14th cup tie of the season tonight. So if they do go on to win one or maybe both trophies, you can't say they haven't earned it. They've done it the hard way. Ravanelli. Juninho scrapping with Former. Claridge. No foul. He's taken quite a hammering tonight, Claridge. Walking very gingerly at the moment. Here come Middlesbrough, Neil Cox. Juninho searching for space. He can't find it though, thanks to the attentions there of Neil Lennon. Off goes Heskey. Leicester with him.
I think Heskey gives Leicester a little bit of his own medicine there. Just watch his right leg. There we go. There you are, Mr. Leicester. You can have some back.
If he's like this now at 19, what's he going to do when he develops into a big lad? Claridge. No, too long for Heskey. First played as a 17-year-old, Emil Heskey. Claridge, who's been around a lot longer, and he's not too happy with some of the stick he's been getting from the Middlesbrough central defenders tonight. Claridge, the man, of course, who scored the winning goal in the playoff final that took Leicester into the Premier League this season. And he himself feels that nothing can compare with that. He might change his mind, though, if he gets the winner tonight. Really wholehearted performer, Steve Claridge. But then aren't they all in this Leicester team? That was Kinder. And he was walloped then by Izzet, who followed right through. Rather out of character for Izzet. Yellow card. As we see the incident again.
Yes, I mean, Izzet followed through, but I'm not sure that he actually made all the contact that Kinder is making out that he did make there. Leicester also is suffering from that clash when Heskey bumped into him before as well.
So I'm still suffering from that one.
Yeah, it looks like he put his neck out, I think.
When Heskey tackles someone, the whole ground shakes. The yellow card for Muzzy Izzet. Or Mustafa, to give him his full name. The Turkish team wanted to call him up for one of their sides, but I don't think he fancied doing national service. Can't think why.
I mean, he's had a tremendous season for Leicester, because when he was at Chelsea, there was a lot of talk by people close to Chelsea that he actually didn't have the strength to compete at this level. But not only has he proved he's got the strength, he showed he's got the ability as well.
And Middlesbrough back to full strength now with the return of Leicester. Izzet taking on Kinder. Nearly got away from him. The man from Slovan Bratislava stuck to his task well. Juninho trying to force it through. Here's Spencer Pryor. I'll tell you what, Ray, you certainly wouldn't fault the desire of Middlesbrough either.
No, I mean, tired they may be, but in terms of effort that they're putting in all around the field, Brian Robson couldn't ask for any more than what he's got from him in terms of commitment.
Steve Claridge. Heskey had headed off into the box along with Izzet. Claridge has won the corner. Whitlow coming across to take it. Along with Parker, they may well work the short one again. Walsh making his way up, and Spencer Pryor. Heskey, of course, is in there too, and Claridge in the 6-yard box. Whitlow to curl it over. Dealt with by Pearson. The captain leading by example yet again. Here's Gary Parker, played in for Lennon, and Whitlow. 4 in the middle. That was Pryor. Not far away. Hasn't scored for Leicester this season.
No, it was an opportunity, though. Good ball in from Whitlow, and there it's really quite a free header, although having said that, it was just behind him, which made it far more difficult for him to actually control it.
Now, with 15 minutes to go, Middlesbrough are going to make a substitution. And it's Fester, with an obvious neck injury, who's going to be replaced. So Steve Vickers coming on. They're swapping one central defender for another. And a very experienced one too. Steve Vickers, who played at the weekend. A cool customer, rather like his manager at the moment. Claridge will be hoping to extend the new man. Futile run in the end for Is it? But he appreciated the thought. But still no sign of a breakthrough for either team.
Well, I think Claridge and Heskey will be quite pleased that Fester has gone off, because I think he's left his imprint on the two of them.
Excellent play by Ravanelli. Still the Italian. Maybe delayed too long now. It's given Leicester time to regroup. Emerson. Kinder to his left. Didn't take that option. Now it's Kinder, faced by a whole wall of Leicester defenders. Hignett. Cox had pulled out wide. But Leicester have plenty of cover now. Here's Emerson. Can't supply Ravanelli or Juninho, lurking in the middle. A rather extravagant then from Emerson. Musto's header, Emerson. Parker. Whacking it rather hopefully upfield. Vickers to Kinder. Middlesbrough endeavouring to pick up the pace again now. Musto. Cox has drifted away to that far side. This is Pearson. Hignett. Still they can't find any rhythm. Such is the commitment of Leicester City. Powerful header by Pearson. Here's the captain again. Oh, he was caught out then by Lennon. Offside. I think Lennon has seen the flag or heard the whistle.
Well, that will be interesting to see again, because that was very, very close. Here we see it. It's when the ball is played. When the ball is played, I'll tell you what, I think that was level. And if it was level, then he was onside.
It was very, very close, but Mark Warren had his flag raised as Lennon raced through. Respite for Middlesbrough. Lennon indeed would have been clean through. Pearson. Here's Ravanelli. Now Cox. Juninho. They just can't get him in the game. Cox. Again, Leicester with bodies in the way. At Goodison, the two players sent off. David Unsworth has gone for Everton and Robbie Fowler of Liverpool. So Graba there right at the end, and I think we're in for some Graba here. Ravanelli getting involved.
Well, Stuart Pearson and Ravanelli having a real argument there, because Nigel Pearson wanted to take the throw in.
It's getting to you, the tension's
getting to you. Well, Ravanelli coming back into his own half to take throw-ins, and Pearson quite rightly saying, we don't want you here, we need you up the field where you can score a goal for us. That's where you're at your most dangerous, not taking throw-ins in our half of the field.
It might have been a Freudian slip, Ray, but I'll tell you what, Stuart Pearson would have relished this game tonight, wouldn't he?
He certainly wouldn't have been back there taking throw-ins.
My word, it's been a battle. Heskey. Claridge couldn't quite set off in time. Well, a night of such emotion. And you feel many of the fans here tonight can hardly bear to watch. Spencer Pryor. Well, whatever happens, even if they win, Middlesbrough won't be celebrating tonight. Brian Robson has banned alcohol from the dressing room. They've got another big match to come. Offside. Pearson. So dominant at the back tonight for Middlesbrough. Pryor, who's done a similarly effective job for Leicester. Grayson to Parker. Might need something special now to turn this game. Grayson elegantly through for Izzard, who made a fine run. Away from Pearson, who then tripped him. A free kick to Leicester in a very precarious position.
Again, no doubting was that it was a foul by Pearson there. Izzard had managed to battle his way past him, and Pearson could see Izzard getting right the way into the box and causing them a problem there.
Parker and Whitlow organising the free kick. The header saved. Walsh. But that will then Steve Walsh.
Ravanelli quite rightly congratulating Ben Roberts. Difficult save, down low by his feet, came away from him half a yard, but he was onto it quickly. They're always difficult when they're close to your feet, bouncing in front of you. I say, nearly went away from him, but he was quickly onto it, and quite rightly got congratulated by Ravanelli for the save.
Lennon. 7 minutes to go. And if they can't get a goal now, either team will be heading for extra time. The last thing Middlesbrough want with their heavy programme. Blackmore. On by Musto. Ravanelli offside again. That's a dodgy one from here, but the line's got a lot closer, of course.
Yeah, I think actually he was just offside. Yeah. There we see it. He was offside. And if there's one criticism of Ravanelli tonight, it's not his work rate. He's worked extremely hard, but maybe it's the tiredness, it's the long season that's got to him. But he's just not showed that sharpness and that bright brain that he has when he's on top form, and therefore he's been caught offside on 2 or 3 occasions. And on 2 or 3 occasions when he's had the chance to go one-on-one and maybe create something for himself, he hasn't taken that opportunity.
Oh, Heskey lashing out at Emerson. Could be in big trouble here. Just lost his composure for a moment, Heskey, after he had tackled with Emerson. Display of petulance from Heskey.
You see, Emerson in the first place gave Heskey a right-hander, and Heskey then retaliated, which was silly of Heskey. A young boy, big occasion, it just got to him there. But certainly he's pointing to his head, and quite rightly, Emerson certainly lashed out with his right hand and caught Heskey on the head.
You probably never felt a thing, but that's not the point. Yellow card for Emil Heskey. Free kick to Middlesbrough, taken by Vickers. Here's Nigel Pearson. Into the last 5 minutes of the 90. Both sets of supporters doing their utmost to encourage their teams. Really has been a sizzling atmosphere at Hillsborough. So often there is that extra excitement under the floodlights. It's made for a cracking occasion, but still neither team finding a breakthrough. Maybe Leicester can now. Lennon. He's got support in the middle. Gary Parker. Juninho back to dispossessive. His contribution, you have to say, overall has been minimal. Juninho, but he's certainly prepared to work. Fullback, what a good interception that was. A rare chance for him to get forward now. Off goes Claridge. Because who came across? Well, Leicester, as we were saying at the outset, should be the fresher team, should be the stronger team now. Will they have the stronger finish? Is it? Faced by Blackmore. Grayson throw. Claridge. Good turn by him. Now it's Neil Lennon. Parker. Heskey at the far post with Walsh. They've sent him forward now. Leicester are going for it. Is it? Came off Kinder. It's a corner to Leicester. Despite his protest, no hesitation from the assistant referee. That'll be the signal for Pryor to go up. 3 minutes left. Mike Whitlow with this corner kick. Heskey didn't get his head to it, didn't really jump either. Middlesbrough trying to scramble it away. Whitlow. Cormack. Back in towards Claridge. Pressure is on Middlesbrough at the moment. Gary Parker. Heskey making the run through the channel. Who's back defending? Ravanelli. Only Emerson upfield. Hignett losing out anyway. Here's Ravanelli now. Musto to Ravanelli. Emerson. Grayson penalised. 2 minutes now for one of these teams to win the League Cup, or it goes into extra time. Emerson with the kick. Up goes Pearson. Ravanelli looking for the flick on. But it's a harmless one. It's a very, very tense night. And the prospect of another 30 minutes ever looming now. Claridge. That was Emerson. Parker. But again, cool work at the back by Pearson. Kinder. We're in the last minute. Clayton Blackmore. Pearson weighing up the options ahead of him. One of them was Ravanelli. Again, he's carrying that hangdog, pained expression, but he's got no sympathy at all from the referee. It's a throw to Leicester. Emerson. Neat footwork by the Brazilian. Juninho, his compatriot. Then Blackmore. We're into stoppage time. And it will be some time added on by referee Martin Bodnam. We've had 1 or 2 stoppages in the second half for injuries. Emerson for Ravanelli. Wall sticking ever close to him. Vickers. Emerson. Spencer Pryor. Claridge beaten in the air by Vickers. Now it's Parker. Forward by Cox, a rather tired pass though. Heskey has gone down injured. What a good tackle then by Cox. Hignett swept on for Kinder. Still Heskey in obvious distress. Referee Bottom allowing play to go on. Kinder to Musto. Didn't have a sight of goal. Neil Cox. Ravanelli calling at the far post. Now what a Leicester do here, because Heskey is obviously in trouble. Pryor settling for the goal kick, and now the attendants can come on and see what's wrong with Heskey. Difficult decision for the referee there, Ray. But
yes, it was a clash of heads as well, I think. So it's normally as soon as there's a clash of heads, the referee stops play immediately. But Heskey ends up with a very heavy challenge with Nigel Pearson, and obviously came out the worst. Here we see the challenge, and we see the two of them clash together. And he just falls heavily, catching the back of his head, and it's obviously stunned him. But he's a hardy lad. He's what he's gone through in the last 18 months. He'll get up from that, I'm sure. I mean, his biggest problem this season has been the ankle injury, but tonight, thankfully, it doesn't appear to have worried him.
Well, he's built like a heavyweight boxer. They call him Bruno. And the Middlesbrough fans still finding plenty to sing about. The same applies to those who follow Leicester City, and we seem to be destined now for another half an hour, and who knows, a penalty shootout as well.
Well, the way it's looked in this last 15 minutes, you know, it looks as though it's going to be a terrible mistake by somebody or one piece of individual brilliance, because there are some tired players out there, and I think it's shown that last move by Middlesbrough. They had possession of the ball, but there's nobody with enough sharpness to actually create anything from the good possession they had of the ball.
The deadlock remains. Brian Robson and Martin O'Neill now have the task of lifting their teams yet again, as they did in the first meeting at Wembley. Well, I wonder what they make of it all at Middlesbrough. It's been such a roller coaster ride for them this season. Leicester City, so many people wrote them off back at the beginning of the campaign, expecting them to go down. Well, far from that, they've battled on to what looks to be a mid-table position of safety, and in the cups they've been outstanding. Now the team, and on we go with Leicester City attacking the goal to our right. Spencer Pryor, who has the character now to go on to win the 1997 League Cup final. It's a tantalising, teasing prospect. Hignett. Pryor with the back pass. Leicester have Mark Robbins and Jamie Lawrence as their outfield players on the bench. Middlesbrough, of course, have already brought on Vickers. They also have Mikkel Beck, the Danish international, and Ireland's Alan Moore, two attacking players. But I would think both managers will hang fire for a moment or two and see what happens, see what develops.
Yes, it'd be interesting to see. We don't actually know what the two managers have said, but are they going to really go for it and throw caution to the wind to try and get this winning goal, or are we going to see a more cautious extra time and then go into the fateful penalties?
It goes to penalties. Martin O'Neill was saying beforehand he didn't really want to give it too much thought, but he has given us a list of 5 names, 5 that he would like to take them. One of them was Steve Claridge, and he wasn't too keen. Emerson. From Middleton's point of view, Brian Robson was giving nothing away. Emerson making no headway. Lennon, as ever, prepared to battle. The real little terrier in midfield, Lennon. And he certainly got through his fair share of defensive duties tonight. Here's Clayton Blackmore. Cox trying to step away from Lennon. Blackmore. Robbed by Izzet. The break might be on here for Leicester. Ravanelli tracking back.
Well, that's tremendous by Ravanelli. So he's had his critics over the year for one reason or another in different areas. But tonight, as I say, he might not have looked at his sharpest, certainly in the attacking third of the field. But his commitment and his work rate, and that typified it, has been superb tonight.
Well, I can remember many occasions when I saw him playing for Juventus, his work rate was absolutely phenomenal. Alongside Vialli in that championship team of Juve's. Hignett to Ravanelli. Hignett again. Juninho hovering in the centre. Trying to make something of the cross. Keller always favourite to get to the ball first. And keeping it in play as well.
Well, it wasn't really a competition there, was it? I mean, Hignett does well out on the right-hand side, but once it comes in the air, there's Casey Keller, all 6'3" of him, against Juninho, who's all 5'8", dripping wet.
If that. Yeah. Needed Ravanelli in the middle, really. He can't be everywhere. Grayson, the Claridge. Well run back for Middlesbrough by Emerson. Neil Cox. Hignett's run. Covered by Whitlow. Hard to believe he has been out for so long this season, Mike Whitlow, because of injury. Certainly hasn't looked out of place on this stage. Musto confronted by Lennon. Middlesbrough's throw. Musto, another tireless worker in this League Cup final replay. Cox taking the throw. Blocking the attempted cross. And Steve Walsh taking no chances. Not with the likes of Juninho and Ravanelli around. Here's Ravanelli now. Pearson with the cross. What was he doing up there? Suddenly popped up as a right winger, Pearson. Craig Hignett to Ravanelli. But Middlesbrough can't retain possession. Now Vickers has to ward off the threat of Emil Heskey. You must have heard him breathing down his neck there. Kittner going nowhere, really. Martin O'Neill applauding the persistence of his team in defending there. Claridge. Here's Grayson and Parker. Grayson again. Heskey could be a target in the middle. Is it? Claridge on the near post. In went Grayson. The shot from Lennon charged down. I think he might come back off Heskey. That's Parker. And Grayson unable to make any headway. 5 minutes of extra time played. Still 0-0. Time for a word from Ray Clements.
Well, certainly that last move was the best one we've seen in extra time, and I think it was that man Pearson again that actually got the block on the shot, because certainly it was a good strike and it looked as though it was going in between the white posts and it had been left to Ben Roberts to make the save, but I think Pearson yet again made that vital last challenge.
Juninho. Can he reveal his sorcery here? Straight to Pryor. And once again, Leicester City have successfully, so far anyway, curtailed the influence of Juninho. Ravanelli. Clayton Blackmore, who does possess a venomous shot. Hitting well too, but straight at Walsh. Heskey. Lennon sidestepping the challenge well. He's a neat and tidy player, Lennon. Here's Simon Grayson. Is it? I always feel I'm asking a question when I say that, but it's his name.
And we need him to ask one or two questions, I think, to the Middlesbrough defence.
Blackmore, bit of a loose pass. Seized on though by Neil Cox. Whitlow. Gary Parker. Prepared to be patient.
Well, he looked up to try and play forward there, and there was just no movement whatsoever, so he had to go backwards. And you know, that was what I think Gary Parker's very aware, as certainly with the experience he's got, that the last thing you want to do in extra time when you're tired is give the ball away needlessly.
Yes, he looked up there, saw Heskey, but clearly didn't feel he would reach him. One mistake now could be so costly. Such has been the tightness of this contest. Here's Ravanelli. Whitlow's clearance to Claridge. Is it to Lennon? Well, his industry has been such a feature tonight, Lennon. As Brian Robson wonders now if his team can find a goal from somewhere. Not really threatening at the moment. That came off Pryor. Walsh to tidy up. Pearson first to respond to the clearance by Keller. Now Claridge by Emerson. It pleases his innocence. With that beaming smile which convinces nobody.
Well, I think on that occasion he's probably got a point.
Seeing it again there, I think perhaps he had. But... Parker. Drilled up towards Walsh. She got a header on. Claridge! Steve Claridge! The man who scored the winning goal in the playoff final and earned promotion for Leicester last season has struck again with what might well prove to be the goal that wins the League Cup for Leicester.
Well, let's not take away what Walsh did here. I mean, this is a tremendous header at the far post. He's under severe pressure. There's the space. Claridge at long last has half a yard of space in the penalty box. Something he's not had all evening, and he buries it in the corner. But Walsh is so dangerous at set pieces. They've handled him all nice, but Vickers is the man who's got to deal with him on this occasion and doesn't do it. Pearson has been the one that's picked him up all night and stopped him from getting those headers.
Remember the goal at Wembley, that was Steve Walsh who knocked the header back for Heskey eventually to score. 9 minutes into the first period of extra time. Leicester are in front. What a test now of Middlesbrough's resolve with all they've got through. Can they come back again? Hittner to Musto. Emerson. Leicester on the back foot now. Lovely flick by him. Emerson! Terrific stop by Casey Keller. Fantastic reaction save. That was a wonderful approach play from Middlesbrough. It really deserved a goal. Off goes Heskey now. Pearson's challenge. Won the ball cleanly. Whitlow just happy to clear anywhere and just calm it all down.
Well, I don't think Emerson can believe that. I think it's wonderful play here in the box. Delightful flick. Now, to be fair, Emerson will be disappointed that he's hit it straight at Keller. But having said that, he made himself big and it was still a very, very good save.
Ravanelli, no, the flag's up, it won't count. Had it gone under the bar, that would have been ruled out. Yes, Emerson will be disappointed that he didn't stretch the goalkeeper further. Meantime, here's the goal from Claridge. He slipped it in delightfully.
Yes, I think that Brian Robson will be slightly disappointed. Obviously, Pearson has been the one who's been earmarked to mark Walsh on all set pieces and has done throughout the evening, and Walsh has been nullified. On that occasion, Vickers was left to mark him, and Walsh got that vital header back across the goal.
It's 14th for Leicester this season, and it could be the most valuable. I was making the point earlier that he said himself. Just wait here for a moment as Claridge goes on again. Heskey down. Lennon supporting, but I was saying he felt his goal in the playoffs couldn't be bettered. I wonder what's going through the mind now of Steve Claridge, the journeyman with his 7th league club, his first ever season in the top flight. A lot of good judges feel he should have played in higher company before, but now he has certainly made his mark, given the opportunity.
Well, it's such an awkward, ungainly character. I think he admits himself he's possibly the scruffiest dressed footballer in the Premiership, but the work that he gets through and the trouble that he causes opposition defenders is tremendous. And of course he scores his fair number of goals as well.
Well, you have to feel for these Middlesbrough supporters and for Brian Robson and the Middlesbrough players who have given their all yet again. 1 or 2 heads now beginning to drop looking round. Hignett and Ravanelli, but they'll keep going to the last. Heskey now ready to continue.
Of course, there'll be lots of things going through the Middlesbrough players' minds. They've lost the goal, but then they've had that tremendous opportunity at the other end, and Casey Killer's made the save, and maybe that just might be going through their minds now. It's not going to be our evening.
Lennon. I don't think anyone has worked harder tonight than Neil Lennon. Leicester edging their way towards victory. Martin O'Neill saying beforehand, I don't care how we do it, just that we do it. And if they can go on now to win this League Cup, they will have announced themselves on the big stage. Juninho looking disheartened and rather inflated at the moment. A second goal would surely kill them off. Parker with the free kick. Walsh at the far post, won it again. In goes Isitz. Heskey. That's a foul. Middlesbrough taking the kick, too quickly for the referee's liking. Frantic instructions from Martin O'Neill down below me. I don't think anyone can hear him out there. Bedlam in the stadium.
I think at this stage he doesn't mind. He's just so involved in it, and he knows deep down that nobody's listening to him, but it's the only way to relieve the tension.
Parker. I don't think anyone standing alongside him would hear him at the moment. Can Middlesbrough retaliate now? 15 minutes into extra time, so halfway looming now. Just a question of any stoppages to be added on. Don't think there'll be too many. The one for Heskey, perhaps. Now Beck and Moore, both about to make their entrances.
Well, Brian Robson has now got Mikael Beck stripped down on the touchline, and I think he's going to be looks like he's going to be bringing Cox off to bring Mikael Beck on as a last throw of the dice to try and really get at Leicester City in this what will be the second period of extra time, I'm sure.
Kinder. Juninho. How Middlesbrough need a moment of magic now from the little Brazilian. Nigel Pearson. Wide to Cox. Ravanelli waits in the middle looking to attack. Couldn't get a clean header and on goal though. Play back in. Musto. And it was Spencer Pryor who cleared the danger. Emerson. Rolled on to Pearson. Speculative shot that ricocheted off Hignett and might have gone anywhere. Vickers. Everybody back for Leicester. Nobody in a blue shirt inside the Middlesbrough half. Vickers launching it forward again. Away by Walsh. And referee Bottenham blows for half-time. Steve Claridge, the man of the moment. And what a moment. To spark off scenes of wild delight among the Leicester fans, but it's not over yet. You can never rule Middlesbrough out.
No, you certainly can't. And also, Brian Robson now is going to be bringing on Alan Moore as well. So he's certainly decided now he's just going to go for it. And there's going to be Craig Hignet's coming off and Neil Cox is coming off. And they're just going to throw everything at Leicester now and hope that somewhere they'll crack defensively. But so far, Leicester have looked really solid at the back.
The Leicester entourage, John Robertson, the old Nottingham Forest campaigner, urging the fans now to lift the team, to hold on to this lead or maybe extend it. And Middlesbrough come again. Alan Moore, a winger, is on, and Beck, who plays up front, of course, now in tandem with Ravanelli. So Juninho will drop off a little deeper. Rest assured, wherever he goes, so will Cormac. Moore to Emerson. Nothing to lose now, Middlesbrough. They've got to go for it. Clayton Blackmore slotting it at right back now. Musto trying to nudge it on. Parker hacking it clear. Poor clearance though by him. This is Kinder. A wasted opportunity.
Yes, it really was. He had lots of time there, far more time than what he thought, and just lashed at it, and it really was a poor effort. And he's looking to the skies. He knows that he should have done better with the ball when the ball came to him.
A place in Europe beckoning for Leicester City. They've only had one previous season in Europe. That was back in the early 60s. Blackmore for Mikael Beck. Heskey just touching it off to Whitlow, who's under immediate pressure from Alan Moore. Eventually clearing his lines, but I think he's in a bit of trouble. Whitlow, that's Beck with a cross. Juninho spring-heeled. But away comes Leicester on the break. Gary Parker surging forward. Vickers, composed defending by him.
Well, what Martin O'Neill's decided to do now is just drop Heskey out of the front, so they've got that 5 men in the middle of the field, just left Claridge up there to forage on his own, and that's how they frustrated Middlesbrough in the first half of the first game.
Alan Moore, just wondering how long Whitlow will continue. He's clearly in some discomfort. Martin O'Neill practically calling for a replacement.
Well, if you remember, he came off in extra time in the first game, and you know, it was his first game back for I think 3 months, and he did extremely well there, and the pace has got to be telling on him now.
They can't get Lawrence on for the moment. Ravanelli's touch, then Juninho. It was a half-hit shot though. A frustrating night for the man who has illuminated so many games this season with his undoubted genius. But he hasn't been able to stamp his authority on this game. Cormac himself might think it's negative, but he's certainly done the job well.
I'm sure he won't think it's negative if he picks up his winner's medal at the end of it all.
I think Martin O'Neill might just make that point to him. Here's Mikael Beck. Stood on for Pearson. The captain going forward now. Juninho. It'll be a throw to Middlesbrough. Leicester are desperate to get their man on, but they can't do so. Ravanelli hooking it back. Keller holding on.
Well, that was an amazing save, because Emil Heskey went to sleep, the ball's knocked back. Look, watch Juninho. He's right in front of Casey Keller, and Casey Keller does really well to actually get hold of that, because he couldn't have seen the ball until the very last minute there.
Leicester were trying to bring on Jamie Lawrence as a substitute. Alan Moore driving a goal was there. Well, he certainly rescued his team then. He hasn't had a great deal to do, Casey Keller. But remember that superb stop early on from Hignett. Here's Whitlow. Is it limping off as well? And still, Leicester have not been able to make the substitution. They're trying to catch the referee's eye. And I think finally they have managed to do that. Whitlow being replaced by Lawrence.
Well, Martin O'Neill sarcastically clapping his hands, but he's quite right to, because the linesman, they've been trying to pull the linesman's attention for some 3 or 4 minutes, and he's just totally ignored the trainer's bench.
Might have cost them a goal because they were clearly ruffled when Ravanelli pulled that ball back for more. They lost their concentration totally. Leicester's throw. Martin O'Neill has gone across to check the extent of the damage to Whitlow. A few encouraging words for him. Leicester City going to do it. Middlesbrough just 2 minutes away, remember, in the first game from victory at Wembley. Denied by Heskey's late equaliser. Now they're behind in the replay. The goal from Steve Claridge divides the two teams. This is Pearson. Blackmore. Pearson. Juninho. Still he can't shake off Cormac. Kittner. In goes Cormac, no more, first to it. Ravanelli! It's one of the few clear openings he's had all night, and he has spurned his opportunity.
Well, Leicester don't give you many, and this is a chance here. I mean, it's just flicked in. Michael Beck gets a little touch, then it drops down to Ravanelli, and certainly he's got to do better. But as I've said before, he's just not got that sharpness about him tonight. As hard as he's worked, that sharpness in the last third of the field just hasn't been there.
It was in truth a tame finish from a man who can be so lethal in front of goal. What relief for Leicester. But here come Middlesbrough again. Clayton Blackmore. Juninho ahead of him. Grayson's interception. Claridge goes romping forward. Gary Parker. Lawrence. Pearson to Emerson. No, he's gone wide of him. Not really involved at the moment, Emerson. He's very deep. Muzzy is it. Not the ball Steve Claridge was hoping for. Claridge, who was so annoyed recently being left out. Is it who played that ball too long for him? He dropped him recently, Martin O'Neill. Claridge was none too pleased. He wanted to keep on playing. Had to sit at home and was probably annoyed. There was no racing on the telly. He's quite a betting man, is Steve. 7 minutes left. Alan Moore. Blackmore. Again, they bypassed Emerson. Vickers. I think Brian Robson will want him more involved. This is Emerson now. Beck. Lawrence tracking back with him. Gets it in too. Anywhere will do now. Vickers, the last man for Middlesbrough, other than Ben Roberts. Pearson. It was a lazy pass, a try one. And that will be a free kick, and maybe a yellow card too, I would think, for the offender, Alan Moore.
Yes, again, reckless, clumsy tackle. Just watch his foot go in. I mean, that's dangerous, that. And hopefully he's not seriously injured, but it was very high and very late, and deservedly goes into the book.
More in frustration, I would think, than anything else there from Moore. It was certainly painful for Muzzy, is it? It'll be a lot less painful if Leicester can go on now to win this cup final replay. Walsh with the free kick. Claridge outmanoeuvred, but he'll chase on and chase everything. 6 minutes to go. Vickers wide for Blackmore. Not really too many options open for him. Grayson in ahead of Emerson.
Well, Leicester showing no signs of keeping the ball now. Anytime they get it, just put it into the corners. That'll waste a few more seconds.
Pearson. Now Clayton Blackmore. In goes Ravanelli. And Juninho. Moore delightfully keeping the ball in play. Couldn't deliver a telling cross, but it was deflected, although Leicester thought otherwise. A controversial decision by the referee would seem. I don't think it touched him, did it?
Well, it certainly doesn't look like there was a deflection there at all, and you know, the Middlesbrough players turned away because they didn't think it was a corner.
Moore with the corner. Pearson can't get to it. Vickers, though, with the header. Then Heskey. Juninho backed off. Lofting it back forward again towards Ravanelli and Beck. That's Vickers. Pearson didn't get hold of it. Musto did. And it's sailed wide.
Because the one problem Leicester do have, the way they've decided to play in this final period of extra time, is that they only have Steve Claridge up the front. They're not hitting the ball to him, they're hitting it into the corners, and they're not getting any release of the pressure, and they're inviting Middlesbrough to come onto them. And again, it just needs one slip from Leicester, and Middlesbrough are back in it. And you would hope really at this situation that Leicester could get hold of the ball and just keep it away from the red shirts.
Mickelbeck. Corner. No, the linesman is pointing for a goal kick. Didn't go down too well with Beck. He's happy enough. Simon Grayson. Another substitution being made by Leicester. Mark Robbins is going to come on. And it's Claridge coming off. And just listen to the ovation for Steve Claridge.
Well, it's a standing ovation for him, isn't it? And quite right. And not only has he scored that goal, but he has worked himself into the floor there, and he's being hugged now by the people on the bench. But there's still some work to be done.
Blackmore. Is it? Robbins is the lone front runner. Kinder backpedaling. Blackmore. He's going to launch it forward now, hoping Ravanelli can make something of it. That's Lawrence. Desperate defending by Leicester. You can't blame them for that now. Into the last 2 minutes. More to Kinder. Everybody back for Leicester. Blackmore. Again, popping it hopefully forward. Ravanelli's header this time. That's Pryor. Robbins making no headway. Kinder. Beck. Laid off to Blackmore. Leicester's throw. Nail-biting tension. In goes Moore. Heskey with the header. Vickers outsmarting Robbins. Now it's Emerson. Into the final minute now. That's Beck. Musto. Forced away by Jamie Lawrence. Juninho in a real hurry to take the throw. Kinder. Slipped by Lennon. That's Blackmore. He holds his head in anguish and dismay.
Well, he scored some spectacular goals over his career, but he could see there that it was obviously desperation. Last minute, he had to have a go, but was miles away, and that may well be Middlesbrough's last clear-cut opportunity.
He hopes not. So do the other 20,000 Middlesbrough fans here tonight. Those following Leicester City, preparing now to celebrate their first trophy for 33 years. Blank faces among the Middlesbrough fans. Into injury time. Vickers to Kittner. Everybody going forward now for Middlesbrough. Walsh to head it away. Then Lennon. Roberts to Vickers. Time almost up. Hopeful ball played upfield. Ravanelli won't get to it. Walsh to Heskey. Now Mark Roberts. He hasn't really got any support. But it's all about defending now for Leicester. Holding on to this slender but precious lead earned by Steve Claridge. Kinder. Got to launch it forward now. And just hope. Pray for a miracle. Blackmore. Brave block by Heskey. Vickers. Kinder. That was Pearson, I think, who made contact there. And it's gone harmlessly behind. Emerson jumping as well. And you can just sense the relief that they're all sharing now. And the dismay for the Middlesbrough fans.
There's a player who's had a tremendous night there. Walsh, not only did he create the goal, but in this last period, he's got his head on every ball that's come into the box. He's been outstanding, solid, good servant to Leicester. And if they do win it, which they have.
Watch it! Leicester City have won the Coca-Cola League Cup. Fantastic scenes of celebration now. Steve Claridge with a goal that won it. The man who won the playoff final has come up trumps again. Martin O'Neill, well, he can hardly conceal his delight. He has done a marvellous job at Leicester City. I remember in the early days there, the fans were booing him, and he's reminded of that in recent times, and you can't blame him for that. And of course, you have to feel for Ravanelli and the other Middlesbrough players, who tonight have given so much. Walsh, a tower of respect at the back for Leicester. And it will be he now who collects the League Cup. Now, Steve Claridge, you said the goal in the playoff couldn't be beaten. I wonder now what he's thinking. Just look at his delight. It's been hard graft for Leicester City over the two matches, no question about that. And Middlesbrough, Ray, have fought them all the way.
Yes, they have. You can feel sorry for Middlesbrough now. They've got Brian Robson and the coaching staff have got a mammoth job now, lifting those players, not only for the Chesterfield semi-final coming up, but more importantly to Brian is to get them going for the league programme. I'm sure that's going through his mind now that as he stands there thinking, I've got games that I need to win to keep this side in the Premiership, and also to keep the top players, because if there was a go down, then I would think it'd be very, very difficult to keep Ravanelli and Juninho and people like that at the club.
Steve Claridge with the match-winning goal, a self-confessed gambler, and he had a bet on Leicester to win the League Cup just before the semi-final against Wimbledon, which was also a pretty close run thing. Well, that's what it means to him now. He's won his bet, doesn't win them all, not by a long way. Casey Keller, he'll look back now in particular on that fabulous save early on, which was so vital.
Well, it was probably the best save of the match, certainly in my book. The save to his left-hand side there from Craig Hignett. And then, of course, that vital save just after Leicester had gone in front when Emerson went through, and he just stood big, made the goal small, and Emerson hit him with the ball. But those saves are just as important as the one flying into the top corner.
There's no consoling Fabrizio Ravanelli at the moment. He's come to England to win things. And when you've been such a success as he has at the very highest level, European Cups, Italian Championships, this is hard to take. Spencer Pryor, superb at the back for Leicester alongside his captain Steve Walsh. I think that was a cornerstone of their success again tonight, their dogged defending and their totally committed display.
It's magnificent for people like Spencer Pryor because he's come up the hard way. He's had a couple of broken legs and he's had to battle through from those, and eventually he's got his chance at the top here with Leicester. Martin O'Neill's given him it, and you know, they've repaid Martin O'Neill time and time again for the chance that he's taken with them. But when you start the season, everybody tipped Leicester to be one of the three clubs that came up who have the most difficulty staying up. They've stayed up and they've won a trophy, and you cannot take that away from Martin O'Neill.
I remember him saying earlier in the season, well, we haven't proved anybody right, we haven't proved them wrong either. Well, now they have certainly proved their point. The Middlesbrough players going up to receive them their losers' medals. And as Ray was saying, it's going to be such a difficult job for Brian Robson to lift them again now, but he's got to. They have Sunderland to play at the weekend. I think it's 6 Premier League matches still to fulfil. And of course they have the Cup semi-final replay against Chesterfield for Cup 2. Ravanelli making his way up the stairs. Keith Wiseman, chairman of the FA, is the guest of honour tonight, as he was for the first game. Nigel Pearson, what a battling display by him. Certainly didn't deserve to be on the losing side. That's Alan Birchnall, the older Leicester City player, who's the public announcer for them now. And he's milking every moment of this. Quite a character.
He was always a very quiet, unassuming type of fellow when he was a player as well, wasn't he?
He has a go at referees at half-time and all sorts on the PA at Wilbert Street. And he'll be enjoying this success as much as everyone. Well, Martin O'Neill, what can you say about the job that he has done? I was saying earlier on about the harsh treatment he had from fans when he first arrived. But then just 5 months later, he guided them to promotion. And now, in the top flight, well, they've won the League Cup. They're certain to have another season, at least in the top flight. They'll have a lot more than that. They have tended to have a rather yo-yo existence in recent times. But under Martin O'Neill, they look to have much more solidity now. As Steve Walsh leads up the jubilant Leicester players to receive the Coca-Cola League Cup trophy from Keith Wiseman. They've all got middle of the shirts on, but they're Leicester City through and through.
Well, they are. And Emil Heskey, you know, who battled throughout the game, hit the post in the first half. He's got his medal to pick up there. He's also got Ravanelli's shirt, and I'm sure he'll be proud of that as well. But the proudest thing will be being part of this hard-working, disciplined Martin O'Neill side.
Everyone wants to shake the hand of Steve Walsh and the Leicester players. Walsh, who's had to ward off so many injuries in his career. Now about to receive the trophy. He's had his ups and downs. This is a moment of triumph for a grand old campaigner. The captain of Leicester City, Steve Walsh, shows the League Cup to these adoring fans who made the trip up the motorway and can now celebrate in style. Well, my thanks to Ray Clements for joining me tonight here at Hillsborough. Hope you've enjoyed it too at home. From Peter Brackley, it's goodbye for now. Leicester City are the League Cup winners for 1997.